Hello guys, welcome to this video. So in this video, I will show you the infinite scrolling component inside React.js. So if you want to load some data from an API or website and display it in the React.js application, there is a specific module that you can use, which is React Infinite Loader. So if you just scroll right here, you will see as I am scrolling, the data is coming dynamically. So you can see as I am scrolling to the bottom of the page, more data is coming dynamically. So this is actually this component. So we have a list of items that we are displaying. So as we are scrolling using our mouse, the dynamic elements are simply loading more. So it is an endless infinite scrolling component which is available in React.js. So this is helpful in those situations when you have a lot of data to display on the web page, and then you just need to display it as the user scroll the page. So this component will be very much useful for those purposes. So if you have a lot of data coming from an API or database, you can use this infinite scrolling lazy loading technique. So the actual module here that I'm using, which is, if you go to npmjs.com, just search for this module, React Infinite Scroll Component. It's a fairly new component library for React.js. So this is actually it's almost very popular. You will see it's almost 698 weekly downloads. Let me just open my zoom it tool to zoom in on particular elements on the screen. So you can see it has almost 700,000 weekly downloads. It's a pretty awesome module. So this is actually the command here to install this. I've already installed this. So now to use this, we will show you step by step. So now to use this, so first of all, you need to load the library. So for loading it, we will actually import the library first of all. Just make a simple functional component. So right at the very top, we will include this module. So we will actually write import, and then this infinite scroll will be available from React Infinite Scroll component. This is your component. And for building this interface, we will also be using Bootstrap. So you just need to install Bootstrap as well. So specifically, we will be using React Bootstrap and the Bootstrap main.css. So you need to install these packages. So React Bootstrap and also the Bootstrap package. So also install these two packages as well. So after doing that, now for actually this application, we will have some state variables. So first of all, the number of items that you want to display, you will have this variable. We'll use the useState hook. Initial value will be empty array. Then we have the boolean parameter has more and set has more. This is actually, it is useful to keep track whether more data is available or not. So by default, it will be true. So if the data is over, then you can put it to false. And then we will keep track of which page the user is on. So for that, we need a use state, and initial page number will be 1. So these three variables we have: items, has more, and page. This is has more, sorry. So now we need to have our JSX, the interface, which will look something like this. We have the container tab, and we'll be having this bootstrap class of margin top 4. So inside this, you will have this h2 heading, which is infinite scrolling with the React bootstrap. So now you'll be using this component, which is infinite scroll, and this component actually takes some options. The first option is our data length, which is the number of items length. So items is an array, so you'll be putting the length of the items. So number of items. Then we have the callback function, which we need to this next function. So this is actually your actual callback function which will execute. You will set the page number to whatever is your previous page. We will increment this with 1. So you'll simply say what is the previous page, just increment it by 1. So it will load the next page. So this is actually callback function. When you scroll down, this function will execute automatically, and here we are setting the page and increasing it by 1. The next property is again this has more, which is a boolean parameter. We have this variable. Initially it is set to true. You can see that when we load the application. So when the data is over, then we can reset this value to false. And then we have the loader option as well inside this library. So if you want to display something to the user that the data is loading, you can put this text directly. And the end message, this actually tells the user that no more data is available. So when the data is over, we can simply say no more data. So these all are options of this infinite scroll component. The items length, the next callback function, has more, loader, and message. So if you refresh your application, just go to the, you will see loading is showing right here because the data is loading. So that's why this text is showing to us. This is now to load the data. What we need to do, we need to display some data. So right inside this infinite scroller component, we will loop through our items. So we will use the row tag, and here we will loop through the items. So we will map through items map, and for each item, what we will do, we will have the column, and inside this we will have a card like structure, card body, and we'll basically give it a title to each item. So we'll use the card title class of bootstrap, and here we'll be embedding our item name. So these items that we are displaying it, we just need to declare it globally somewhere else. So for the sake of this tutorial, I am just showing you a very basic example where we declare the data right here at the very top. So we have this, let me have a use effect hook function. So when you load your application, this use effect will execute, and here we will load the data. We'll basically make a function, and we'll pass the page number. So here, this is actually your, so we just need to define this function, which is load data, and it will be getting our page number passed as an argument. So inside this function, what we need to do, we need to get the new items, await. So this will be a async function. So we'll basically use the fetch API, sorry, fetch data function, and we'll pass the page number and 10. So 10 items need to be displayed on a single page, and then we'll be set the items to whatever is your previous items, and here we'll be adding it to the previous items. So whatever is your new items, like this. And then we will simply check right here in this if condition that if new items length is smaller than 10, in that case we can simply show this message that set has more variable to be false because there is no more data available. For now, for this tutorial, as I already told you, I will basically have the data coming right here, not from an API or database. In real life situation, the data will be coming from the API or database that you not want to display like this. So for this, we'll just have some basic data. We'll be returning promised right here. I will be using the set timeout function, and right here we will have a set of items array, it will be empty by default, and then it will be simply be running a simple loop. I is equal to 0 and I will limit, so whatever is your limit pass, I plus plus, and then we will push the item in the items array, and here it takes the property of id, which will be page multiplied by limit plus I, and the second property is the name property, so backtick symbol, and you'll dynamically be putting page multiply by limit plus I. So we have this now. We can now display this data. If you can see in the JSX, we are displaying the item name in the cart title, and similarly in cart text, we will have a bunch of text. So you can design the interface accordingly. I'm not forcing you to use Bootstrap. I'm just showing you. If you refresh now, you will actually see mm, I paste it. I think there is some kind of typo mistake. And if you refresh, so the items will display. If you see, as I scroll down, a new bunch of new items will display. The data is loading. This is essentially the infinite scroll component library in React.js. It takes these options here that I already told you, the data length, which is your items. Next, it's a callback function where we display the next page and load the next set of data. Has more loader and message. And here we are displaying our data by using the map function, and each data has a card-like structure which contains the item name, card description, and a button. So this is, you can build out a very basic infinite scroll component in React.js to load dynamic data inside your application uh, by lazy loading, you can say. You are not displaying the entire data at once. You are letting the user scroll down and then loading that data. So this is a very good module. You should definitely use it. And please hit that like button, subscribe the channel, and do check out my website as well, freemediatools.com, which contains a large set of audio, video, and image tools. And I will be seeing you in the next video.